All right, we are minutes away from that high tide that really we've been talking about for days now, and clearly the effect is already being felt.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
It's not good, and it does appear, it's all preliminary, but the National Weather Service also agrees that there is a new record in the harbor. Portland Harbor has a new record. The current water level, 14.34 feet.
Wow.
So that eclipses the blizzard of 78, and that water level was 14.17 feet. So we had this surge in the surge, if you will.
That made that jump up.
Yeah,
short
because
time
a
ago,
half an hour ago, the surge was like around 2.5 feet, and it just jumped like minutes ago up over 3 feet of surge. So you put that on top of the predicted tide, and there you go. You get numbers that are over 14 feet, and you know, we've got a ton of problems on the waterfront right now. Keith Carson's down there. We'll be chatting with him in a second. So we have a lot of road closures, and these reports are just like cruising in to the newsroom, you know, all over town. They're shutting down roads and putting up barricades, and you've got detours all over the place. Our beaches are taking it on the chin right now too. I'm seeing some video down along Old Orchard Beach and Pine Point Beach, and water levels are getting up into the sand dunes and beyond, into some of the parking lots and things like that. And additional damage to waterfront property happening too. And sadly, this isn't just Portland, it's our entire coastline. We saw what happened on Wednesday. It's happening again in all of these harbors, these tiny little harbors, these working waterfronts, these businesses that have been around for generations, have lost a lot of their property, a lot of their gear. A lot of it won't be salvageable, and that's going to be a very costly thing to replace and repair. Current water level in Bar Harbor is 15.5 feet. I'm sorry, 14.6 feet, and the record's 15.5 feet, so we're about a foot behind, but we're getting close. And then out in Eastport, current water level's 22.66 feet, and the record is 24.4 feet. So these will all be very close to what happened on Wednesday, if not exceeding them. That's the case in Portland right now. For the rest of us, there's heavy rain with some gusty wind and heavy snow up north and in the mountains. The rain-snow line continues to progress inland and farther north. It has now moved through Lewiston and Augusta and is moving through Bangor at the moment. There is a couple of slushy inches out there. The mountains are going to get several inches of wet snow, like 6+ in places that we want it. We want it in the ski resorts, we want it in snowmobile country, and we're getting it. That's back-to-back storms now. So hopefully this is the first of us establishing some snowpack for the rest of the season. And it looks real cold, by the way, all of next week too. So it's not like it's going to melt away immediately. In a couple of hours, rain pretty much over across the south. And by mid-afternoon, ending for eastern and central Maine, there will still be a few lingering drops and flakes around through the evening hours, but will actually start to clear out. And later tonight, when we're completely clear, the wind is going to be blowing in some cold air. And unlike the last storm, I do think we're going to have some flash freezing tonight, and I do expect a lot of icy patches and slippery spots tomorrow morning. So be super careful if you're heading out to church early in the morning, or you know, there's some basketball games, kids got basketball games at the youth center, things like that. Just be real careful your first step. Wow, just had Augusta and Greenville on Moosehead to almost 60 miles per hour. And all of these locations are reporting less than 40-mile-per-hour gusts. That doesn't mean it's not higher somewhere, like some of these islands and peninsulas that jut out. I mean, it's like, you know, really, really strong. You know, 50+ I'm getting reports. So not every airport is reporting big gusts right now, but they're occurring. Colder and colder and colder, that's the rule of thumb behind this storm. And we've got to watch the deep south and Gulf of Mexico. There is going to be a little breeding ground in here for storms to form, and one has a chance to curl up the coastline here for the middle of the week. That could lead to some snow. It's not going to mix, I'll tell you that. It would be all snow if it gets to us. I think the question mark with that storm is the track. Does it come far enough north and west to give us any substantial snow? So it will get better this afternoon, but the water along the coastline is going to remain high until about 3 o'clock, and then it starts to recede. And we'll be able to, at that point, kind of view what type of additional damage was done and how many docks we lost this time, and you know, how many lobster traps came off of, you know, that pier and things like that. So it's going to be a long haul here for for the working waterfront for a lot of our fishing community. You know, my heart goes out to them because they work darn hard, and they put up with a lot from Mother Nature. Gear isn't cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and
to lose that
and
much.
if they choose to keep it and repair it themselves, that takes time
Right.
and effort
And you're
and
not out.
strength. Yeah,
Right.
while you're not out, you know, doing what you do for a
And
living.
what a difference this time in terms of cleanup, that
Yeah.
it'll be so cold that, you know, any
That's
of
a
these
great
places with
point.
water inside.
Yeah, Brian,
the
that's
other
a great
day it
point.
went out and you just cleaned up mud. Now it's freezing.
Yeah, that's a great point, Brian. Yeah, you know, one side note here, there are like no power outages. You know, there's less than
Very true.
5,000 at last check,
Yep.
which is not bad, and I think they get restored by the end of the day with this cold coming in, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah.
All right, Todd. Thank you.